Another day, another video. I am Vengeancer and I'm playing BDO again. Today's gonna be trading or bartering. I don't feel like bartering, so we're gonna go do some trade stuff. I just finished grinding up about 80 crystals. Let me organize myself here for a second. Dump this stuff back in storage. The idea is to work on trading, trade crates, or bartering on Thursdays. I was just grinding up crystals to get more blackstone powder. I'm gonna leave 1,000 in there, and I'm gonna take 6,300 with us. Our destination is Grana. It's gonna be way the hell off down here. But the reason for that is I need to take blackstone powder down there anyway, and I could just transport it. But since I have to go down there to get the trade crates and transport them back to the sand grain in the desert, I'm going to just run the blackstone powder down there anyway. It just makes sense instead of waiting for it to transport. So we will try to make a fast trip of this. And while I'm running, I will talk. I do have the stuff set up to do trade crates. I just haven't devoted much time to them. I hardly ever run down here to Grana. And with the trade crates, you know, the biggest thing is once you have the nodes set up. I hit a tree. Once you have the nodes set up, it's not a big deal. It's just getting it set up and getting enough CP to do that. Which I have a bunch of mine sank into it, and I have a lot of nodes. What am I stuck on? I have a lot of nodes set up to craft and to make sure my workers gather like all the ores that I need for the crates that I build. I focus on brass, bronze, and steel for the ores, and then I have several of the timber crates as well. I don't do those as much. But currently what we have down here in Grana is I have a ton of steel crates. Oh, I messed it up. I have a ton of steel crates set up, producing, because I have a ton of steel. And then I was doing trash crates, which I had a bunch of extra lead ore laying around that it's not good for anything that I was doing. I had my workers gathering it because I think I was looking for a byproduct on that node before I removed it, and then I stopped using that node, so I just had a bunch of lead ore left over. So I turned them into crates. I was going to level up my trading doing that, and then I ended up leveling my trading with just trading and with fishing, because whenever they did the trade change, it's been a long time. Like years, I think, at this point. It's been a long time since I messed with it, but they changed it a long time ago to where it used to have to be Master 2 to get the desert buff for trading. They changed it down to Artisan 1, or Artisan 2, sorry. And so I just got my trading to Artisan 2, and then I've been, whenever I was leaving my character AFK fishing, I would just sell everything to the trader. Same with the, anytime I would grind any of that stuff, I would just sell with the trader overnight, collect it, sell it with a trader, bargain, and I'd get enough XP to level up. I finally got past Artisan 2. Now I'm well past Artisan 2. I'm almost Artisan. I'm like Artisan 9 or 10. And so it doesn't matter. I've already done the buff for that, like the quest to get the buff through the desert. You got to go through the quest line. So I can't show that. I've already done that. But the idea is to use that buff alongside the distance bonus. That's what you make the crates in Grana or Trent, and then you send it off to Valencia, because Valencia is the furthest point away that is still in the desert. Oops. Wasn't watching the map. And so you get max distance. Plus, the higher your trade level, the more you're going to get when you bargain. Hey, look, there was a quest that I was supposed to turn in. I wonder why. What are you?
I am Obi Bellin, and I promise honest trade. Do I look scary?
Oops, I didn't want to get off the horse.
Well,
This turned into a quest
looks
thing.
like you have many questions you want to ask me.
I think this is part of the main quest, sure.
Let me see what you have before you.
Yeah.
Screech owls have ear-shaped feathers, but I am a barn owl. Do I
We're gonna
look
do this real quick
scary?
since I'm in the area.
How scary?
Blah blah blah. I really don't give a shit about the story. Now, back to where we were headed. I don't want to go do that. I want to go to Grana. I haven't done the entrance to Odalita quest, which is what that is. I need to work on that, but I just haven't felt like doing it. Anyway, back to my my trading rambling. So the idea is to craft everything in Grana, get your trade crates in Grana, transport them over to Valencia, which if you try to use the transport function trade item, it's gonna eat up silver like crazy, so you just have to manually do that. Load as much as you can on your horse, transport them to Sandgrain, dump them in storage, and just once you get them all there, then you can run them on over to Grana. Or from Sandgrain over to Valencia. That way you make the whole trip from Grana to Valencia. Now you can't auto route it, but you got to go through the Gaha's Bandit Lair, which those things hit really hard if you don't have all your armor and stuff on it. And if your horse gets stuck and you get killed, you're going to lose a bunch of your trade crates. So I don't recommend doing it that way. Plus, once you've done it a few times, navigating the desert's not that bad, especially if you have an elephant or a camel. But that being said, the trade crates do make money. It's just, it's a lot of tedious little steps, and unless you're doing it en masse, they don't make that much money in terms of silver. You know, one trade crate's not going to get you much, but if you're doing hundreds or thousands of them at a time, it's kind of like the Imperial turn-ins. One of them's only a few 100,000 silver, but over time, and with the bonuses, the desert buff, and the distance bonus, plus your higher trading mastery, it will grant you quite a bit of silver. And that's a good way of getting silver out of your nodes without having to pay the marketplace taxes on it. Alright, this is taking too long. Okay. So, let's dump this to the storage. So now we got 6,300, and see, I do have 70-something thousand steel. I still got a ton more steel to make. I just haven't done it. Got quite a bit of bronze and brass as well. I want to get rid of that. I have a bunch of steel crates, and I have a bunch of these lead ore crates. Let's see. way, way, way over. But you know what? I can overstack it. That's fine. Now, where we need to go with these, actually.
Absolute perfection of hard working. This is VI.
I don't think it's gonna let me do that. So I'm gonna let, I left that in there. I'm gonna let the steel crates keep stacking. You can overstack on the horse, it'll be fine. Here's all my plywoods. So let's set this, because I'm not gonna be able to fast run. I'm just gonna have to let it auto run. But here's the idea: you run it to sand grain, and I've already got some trash crates over here. So the idea is to get it there. And eventually you take it across the desert over to Valencia, to one of the trade managers over here, which there's one there. And then you're going to have to do the, I think it's in Pilgrim Sharing. It may be Purity. It's one of these. I think it's the Sharing one. You go and you get the buff from the villa there. It's like a quest. I think you got to talk to the guy. I'm pretty sure it's the Sharing one. It's been a while, so I may be wrong. It may be one of these other ones, but I think it's Sharing. I'll have to look that up. And then once you get that, Valencia is considered to be in the desert, so you just take all your trade crates and put them on your horse, get them to the trade manager, and then bargain them and get as much as you can out of them. See if this will actually auto sprint. If it auto sprints, it won't take very long to get where we gotta go. But I don't think they changed that. I don't think it can auto sprint. So this is about the extent of trade grading. You spend a lot of time transporting crap. It takes a while. It's good for semi-AFK play. If you're just not really doing much and you just want to transport some stuff back and forth and kind of semi-watch it. I mean, you kind of need to be aware just in case somebody attacks you or something, but not too bad in terms of making silver. It's fairly straightforward and easy. Now, the reason I brought the blackstone powder down there is because I have one lodging, which cost me 5 contribution. It costs 11 contribution, but I have the mineral workbench, and then I also have the wood workbench, which costs another 11 contribution. It's very expensive to invest in Grana, but once you have it, you don't need most of these. All of it, most of this stuff's just more storage. And in terms of level 5 or 4 nodes, you're either going to need a wood workbench So yeah, that's the highest wood workbench. There's only one there. And then you're going to need the mineral, which there's only a level 2 anyway. So those are the only 2 in there that you really need. That, and then I got the worker upgrade, so I can have an extra worker list for Grana. 2 out of 4, so I could get a couple more out of that. I don't remember why I put the extra 2 in there. I think it was because I wanted to eventually get some of these nodes around here. And have them gather stuff around here. Like the knock ore. But I can't remember what I was going to do with that. So I ended up investing a couple in that. And it may have just been in terms of Yeah, I think it was just to have a couple extra workers in terms of like swapping them around so I could get better ones as I went. Now, back to my original point. So since we got all the blackstone powder down there, we can do managed crafting. You can do 5 at a time. It's going to take twice as much blackstone powder, or you can just do 1 crate at a time, because see, it takes 1 and you're only going to make 1. So if you do that by 5, you'd end up using 5 of those and 50 of those versus 50 of those and 10 of those. This just speeds things up. If you can get the actual skill, the worker skill that has it to where you get like 10% resources back, it's pretty good. Now, I only told it to make 1 crate, but what it needs to do is tell it to do it like 99,000 or whatever times. That way it just keeps going until it runs out of blackstone powder. And the rest of the trading day, I pretty much will just sit here and watch this thing transport, and then once it gets there, unload it. And then once I get all my crates to sand grain, the stockpile there, when I feel like it, I'll run them across the desert and turn them in. Granted, that's a lot of weight on the horse, but it's still it's easy to transport them all at once versus running back and forth 40 times. So now the other idea is to kind of use these Thursdays that I'm making trading or barter videos to kind of clean up my nodes a little bit and just look at what the trade crates require. So I've got the mineral ones down pretty well. I don't need a jewelry crate. They're probably worth a little more, but titanium maybe, but I don't have any titanium nodes. Mithril, I don't have those either because I don't have the higher and none of these. So the easy ones are the steel, bronze, and brass, because all you need for those is the bronze and the brass and the steel. The steel, you just need iron and coal, which the nodes for those are easy to get. They're around Heidel and Velia. For these, you're going to need lots of copper. Copper and zinc for the brass, and copper and tin for the bronze. Both of those, there's tons of copper nodes around Velia, and then the tin and the zinc are kind of further out from where Heidel is. So I think I got a lot of my zincs over here, if I can remember. There's one of the zinc and platinum. I also got to remember where the rest of mine are. I don't remember where my tin is. Here's a good iron node. Very quick to get to if you need more iron. There's a ton of them down here. There's one of the titanium ones. I used to have these. There's iron and there's iron. I used to have all of these because the rough black crystals. I used to make the what is that stuff called? The Grunel armor. It had a ton of black crystals in here and melted platinum. But the Grunel armor I used to make a ton of out of Alta Nova. That's why I had those. But they also do very good for the iron. Trying to remember where I get the tin at. I just don't remember. It's one of these. Those are the copper and iron. I think tin is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's further over here. There's one. Easy. Sorry about that. The doggy heard something. Rip headphone users. She hears a noise, she goes off. I think she heard the other dog in the background. And then she got the little Pitney's going, so now he's barking like crazy. Shh, it's okay. I don't know what they're barking at. Anyway, enough of that. So I'm going to finish running this over, maybe grind up some more Blackstone powder, and then I will check back in next week with another trading video. But the idea is to get them all here and set up in this town so you can easily run them over and get the buff from one of these. I think it's the sharing one. Get the desert buff and then turn it all in here for the bonus. But collect your stuff, craft them down here. The other thing that I have to mention is they all have to be connected. So if I switch over to the node, you can see the golden path. I have mine connected all the way around. From about here to here, unless you're doing trade grades or you just want some of the resources from here, most of them are just a waste. It's a lot of CP to connect that and to leave it connected all the time. But I'll end it off here. I appreciate anybody that watches. Leave a like and a comment, it helps the videos. Subscribe, gotta self-promote. Keeps the channel growing. And like I always say, thanks for spending your time, you know, what little time you have watching my stuff. It means a lot. So, as always, until next time.